Video journal number 8. I'm Jason Zook.
I'm Caroline Zook.
It is late for these video journals. They've normally been going up. We try to do them in the morning, get them up by around the afternoon. We've been busy.
I was going to make a crack because when you said it was late, I was like, yeah, it's like 10 p.m. I'm like, it's like 7:45. But it's late for us.
It's late for recording, especially for this, because we would like to have been done with work, but we piled a lot more on our plate here at the end of this BuyOurFuture launch. So if this is the first video you're watching, these are a series of videos about what it takes to launch a high-value product. And for us, that's a product called BuyOurFuture. It's $2,000. And we are on the 8th day of our launch. Technically, it's a lot longer than that, but we're not going to go into that. There are 3 days left. So today is day 3, tomorrow is day 2, Friday will be the last day. First thing I want to touch on is, continuing off of yesterday's video, we are finishing our video replies, our very high-touch video replies. And
just to catch everyone up, the idea behind that was sending out an email to our list and saying, hey, where do you want to be 1 year from now? And write us back with answers to these very specific questions, and we will film a video reply telling you how we think BuyOurFuture products can get there. We haven't been doing hard sells of BuyOurFuture in these replies. It's really just about like us using our business brains and saying, hey, just looking at your online presence and what you have going on and knowing what your goals are, here's how we would attack that over the course of the next year. And here are some BuyOurFuture products that we think can help, accelerate that process. But it's been fun. It's been draining. It's been a lot more work than we thought.
I didn't know if you were going to go with draining or exhausting right after fun, but I'm proud of you.
To me, it's like equal parts exhilarating, because as we're looking at these people's businesses and where they want to be, I get so fired up because I'm like, I see what you have to do to get there, and I want to be there to help you. And then, but just you record so many of them back to back that it takes a lot out of you, especially if you're not used to like talking to humans all day or whatever.
Yeah. So we've done, I was just going to count here. We have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 of these video replies. They are
all between 8 and 15 minutes.
Yep. So you can do the math at home for how long we've spent on just that.
And there's research of probably about at least 10 minutes of research behind the scenes.
More than that.
Where we look at their stuff and what they have going on, talk about their goals. We kind of confer about, it's like kind of very digestible business consulting is basically what we're doing here.
Yeah. So a couple things I wanted to talk about just to kind of recap that before we move on to other things. So we've done 21. We have landed 2 sales from people that we've replied to, which is pretty good. That's a 10% return on this.
I'll take
that. I imagine just by the conversations we've had from people who have replied, there will be a couple more in there. So I think this is a very fruitful exercise that we've done, which is great. I think it also showed us it was an assumption that we could test on doing a high-touch thing, getting us back on video a little bit, because we don't do a ton of video stuff, but we like doing it. It just is a lot of work. And the thing that I think is really interesting out of this, and I don't know if Caroline wanted me to talk about this or not, but I'm going to, is that I think this could be the way that we sell this product going forward, where we kind of do an intake survey, if you will. If someone's interested in BuyOurFuture, where they answer these questions that we asked. We had 5 questions, and it was really just about, what are your goals? What are you struggling with? What's your business right now? What do you want? What's a big dream for you? And not that we can solve and make everyone's dreams come true, but I think it's good for sometimes just for people to write that out, as we saw in some of these things.
For sure.
So I think this could be a really interesting thing for us to test going forward. And let's say we do only a handful of replies each day, or maybe 1 a day going forward. If the 10% return continues, that's a great way for us to sell BuyOurFuture, and we like it. And it creates a really nice high-touch relationship where people get a lot of value from us ahead of time.
Yeah, especially if you're not doing them back-to-back. Then it becomes really manageable and
really fun. We will not
be
doing 21 in a 2-day span.
Yeah, and I think the takeaway there for launching a high-value thing is come up with those crazy ideas. Test the ideas that maybe aren't what you see everybody out there doing. For us, launching BuyOurFuture, we want to always do it authentically. So it's not like spending a year trying to pour people into this funnel that we know we're going to, just sell it. You just send a couple emails and hope that we're going to make 6 figures. For us, it's really doing it in an authentic way where we're building our audience in a high touch way all year long. And then we're selling BuyOurFuture. So we know that we're going to need to do some creative ideas in order to really sell that. I think also it's a learning about what is your product and can you see what the missing piece is in order to, I think I've mentioned this on previous episodes, But what's the missing piece in getting people to actually get over the hump and really make that commitment? For us, we know that BuyOurFuture can be overwhelming. The thing that is so great about it is also the thing that's limiting in the way that you sell it, because it's like there are so many different ways to approach the products and move through the products that someone can very easily go, I don't even know how I would use all this stuff. Where do I even start? So our idea of doing these video replies was a very high touch way for us to basically hold someone's hand and be like a living, breathing sales page and say, here's exactly how we would use this product for your goals, knowing that we have full confidence in the products themselves and in the product offering BuyOurFuture itself as a community, as a bundle, all those things. So that was kind of like our creative idea.
Yeah.
And already we've seen that it is paying off.
In multiple ways, not just in making money, but also in bringing us value.
Yep,
So I was
totally.
going to say, you're like drifting away. Where are you going?
Am I? Where am I
yeah,
going?
Come back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So test those assumptions, try the creative ideas, and then it could spark really amazing ways for you to, do a more sustainable version of that going forward, which I think is what we're going to try to do.
So we have 3 days left, technically 2 days left, and we have started to see a little bit of a uptick in sales. And this is what happens when you do, for us it's a 2-week launch, but any type of longer launch period than maybe 24 hours or 48 hours, there's like a couple in the beginning, it kind of dies down in the middle because just there's no urgency to buy. And then it's when you get to the end is when people are like, oh, I want that thing. So I think this is a confluence of a couple things. One, we had some cool bonuses that we always do during BuyOurFuture where we get some friends and some BuyOurFuture actual members to contribute some stuff that we know can bring people value. We also did these videos, which are fun, but I think it's just the urgency is now here because people know, oh, this thing's going to close. Yes, I want this thing now. We can't leave it open all the time. And even doing the video reply thing, we have to find a sustainable way to do that because I don't want to be tied to that. I want to be investing in the community. And that's a big selling point, I think, of BuyOurFuture and what we sell. And I don't know if that's a thing that you want to invest in with what you sell, but we believe in that.
Yeah.
So I want to have time for it. So yeah, I think there's an uptick coming here for the next two days. So we have a live Q&A that we're doing tomorrow, which will just take questions to people who are curious and maybe have last minute things.
We will for sure see the biggest sales day be the last day.
Friday, yes. And then I'm also going to share with you guys in this journal numbers at the very end of this, probably even next week as we get through all this. But a fun thing with sales is that our Facebook ads have finally started to convert. So we had one conversion in the first week, which was a little bit lower than anything we've had before. And in previous videos I talked about, our typical Facebook conversion was spend somewhere between $2,000 to $4,000 to make about $18,000 to $20,000. It's a great return on investment. This time around, we'd spent about $2,000 to make $2,000.
So you're like,
not a good return on the investment. But we are now at 4 sales total converted through Facebook. We've spent a total of now $3,200. So $3,200 to make $8,000 is good, not great, not what it's been. But our Facebook guy, Seth, said he thinks it's going to pick back up. We think
definitely.
It will too.
And that retargeting in that final day is really huge because some people forget and they're like, oh yeah, that is the last day. And we know that's where people spend their time, Facebook. So
and we say that in the ads.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. Like, because it's an open and closed thing, the ads today, tomorrow, and Friday are, you have 3 days left, you have 2 days left, this is the last day. The ads change with this little countdown. So I think it's really important. It's helpful if you're thinking about doing Facebook ads for a launch of any kind, get very targeted and specific each day that you do
definitely.
them.
So yeah, I think that's it for today.
We have one question.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Gotta do that question.
I know.
love
I like the question thing. It's one of my favorite parts. So
For sure.
I asked this, what's your biggest worry or fear when it comes to selling? And Chad wrote back on Twitter and said, rejection. It's hard not to take no personally.
it. Yes.
There is no one nugget of an answer or tidbit that I can give you other than you just have to keep hearing no for no to not
Matters
feel
so much.
like it's rejection.
That is the secret key, is that if you're scared and you're only doing it a handful of times, each no is going to feel like earth-shattering, end of the world. But if you just know that that's one closed door, I'm going to go find another open door, and you kind of have that approach to it, it does start to feel less personal over time. And that also goes with you then gaining the confidence, because the more at-bats you have, the more chances you have to say yes. And once you get that yes, then you're going to start to go, oh, that no was just the wrong opportunity for that person. So I think especially if you're in the beginning, let's say, of like starting a client-based business or something, and you're doing proposals or you're trying to, close sales or something like that, if you haven't had someone say yes to that, yes yet, it's really scary because then you do take it personally. You're like, what am I doing wrong? But, consider the chance that maybe you just haven't had enough at bats yet. And just until you get that yes and get that confidence, that no is going to feel a little bit tough, but just keep pushing through it.
And understanding that no typically and almost always is not like, no, you're a terrible person. And not just you, Chad, but other people who might be watching this who are also having fear of rejection. It's not about that. It's the timing isn't right. It's someone's paid for this thing before and it didn't work out, so they don't want to do that again. It's that they don't know if it's a good fit for them, especially when you're selling a high price thing. They're like, I just don't know if it's a good fit. You can't necessarily change that.
Yeah.
Or they just don't have the money. And that's a big part of this whole process of selling BuyOurFuture is that we are very, very, very vocal that if you cannot afford it, do not buy it. We have pricing plans, we have payment plans and those things, but we also want people to make a good financial decision for themselves and not put them in the hole. So yeah, that's kind of how we have dealt with rejection. And for years, I have sold so many weird things on the internet, BuyOurFuture being probably one of the weirdest. But people say no all the time. And I just realized it's not my idea is bad or it's not I'm a bad person. It's that it's not a good fit for them. And I just need to move on and try and find
And the
worst
thing that you can do is let that no take you out of the game. Because that could just be one person having the wrong fit for that one thing you're selling. And then you've basically changed the trajectory of your business or your life based on one person's opinion. So just don't let the no's take you out of the game. Feel the hurt or feel, let your mind race with whatever for give yourself that half hour or whatever to go down that rabbit hole with yourself and then say, that's it. I'm going to get back on the horse. I'm going to go try a different avenue. I'm going to keep going. Just don't let it take you out of the game.
Hey, how about this? I had the beverage this time, not Caroline.
Did I have wine last time?
Not last time, but a couple days ago.
Look at us being
We're just
drinking
having
our booze.
evening drinks. Whoa, there's dogs barking. All right, good time to end it. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye.